I like to do a short video also on something I always talk to my patients about. It's not really true, it's not vascular, but it's, the vascular surgery patients tend to be older, obviously. I'm not talking about my varicose vein patients, but my arterial patients, the ones with the carotid disease and circulation problems in the legs, tend to be older. And so one of the things that I worry about and we're actually required to ask about is falls. So I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about falls in the elderly. CMS, the Medicare, requires us to ask about ask the patient, have you fallen? Because that is a really, really important question for the elderly. As you get older, you tend to lose muscle mass. And then if you have orthopedic problems or joint problems, you tend to not be as active. You lose muscle strength. And if you lose muscle strength, particularly in your thighs, then you get unsteady on your feet. It's almost like a circle where you lose strength in your legs, you become unsteady on your feet. You're scared to walk. You lose more strength. You become more unsteady on your feet. And so it's just like a really kind of a bad vortex. And what we're always concerned about in the elderly is falls and breaking hips and pelvises and stuff. And I'll tell you this personally, from a personal story. My mom passed away in January, and she fell about 6 months before she passed, and broke her, not 6 months, probably about 3 months before she passed. She had a lot of medical problems with heart failure and stuff. She fell and broke her pelvis about 3 months before she fell, and it was just a downward spiral from there. She didn't ever walk again, really. Even though the fracture healed and she was out of pain, she didn't get up and walk, and consequently she lost a lot of muscle strength in her legs, and she mentally it really affected her mentally, her outlook on life, her outlook on living, and her quality of life really deteriorated. And so, that downward spiral occurred, and she eventually passed away January 11th of this year. But you can almost pinpoint it to when she fell and fractured her pelvis, when she really significantly deteriorated. And so in the elderly population, it's incredibly important to not lose strength in your leg muscles, and your stability, your core strengthening things. So when patients come to the office, we always ask them, have you fallen over the last 6 months to a year? How many times have you fallen? What do you have in place at home to help you with stability things? Do you have rails, in your bathroom to help you get up? What I typically hear at nighttime, with patients at night that fall, I got up to go to the bathroom, I tripped on the rug, or I tripped on this piece of furniture. So all that stuff has to be taken care of. Somebody has to go to the house and, make sure all these things are safety measures are taken so people don't fall, especially elderly, because, you get up at nighttime, maybe a little disoriented, it's dark, and something that they walked around 1,000 times, they'll trip over. Hell, I do the same thing. But, so stability is really important. Improving your thigh muscle strength, I think, is the key, honestly. Stability in terms of the core, but thigh muscle strength. So what I tell people, patients, is, look, if you're sitting at home, just not, doing much, you're sitting in a chair with arms in it, pick yourself up 10 times. Stabilize yourself with your arms on the arms of the chair, and pick yourself up 10 times. That motion up and down, that activates the thigh muscles. And that, I think, is important for stability, because I see a lot of elderly patients, you can almost put your hand around their thigh muscles, and they have no strength. So no strength, anything outside the center of gravity, and they're down. And so thigh muscle strength and core strength, back and abdomen, very important. That's why I really advocate weightlifting and exercising regularly. Even bicycling, great. Whatever you can do with your thigh muscles, with your leg muscles, totally great thing for the elderly. Because if you stop walking, then it's really hard to get back walking, and you're much more likely to fall and break something, and then you kind of go through that spiral like my mom did. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Again, any questions that you might have about any of this stuff, feel free, and I'll be glad to answer them for you.